Yo, what it do, my people? I appreciate y'all coming to the channel, checking me out. What's good? I was watching the video, as you can probably already understand. But let me go check the audio on this here show and see if it's playing correctly. And it is. I hear that dope ass voice. Y'all heard that dope ass voice too. Yo, but anyway, I want to talk to y'all about a real serious scenario. These scenarios is really important to me because I'm a black father. So I want to chat about it, man. And if you haven't heard or don't know what's going on, it's a black dude. I want to say he like 30s and 40s. He killed a cop yesterday. He killed a cop. Now it's not certain if he killed the exact cop that killed his son, or if he just killed another cop that's on the that's one of the police officers. But he did kill a cop, and supposedly it's a cop that was retired and off, and not really off duty, but he was working for the cop system, doing like directing traffic or something like that. So I don't think he killed the exact dude who he murdered that was killed his son, but his son was murdered by the police the day before. And this guy who killed the cop had no prior background, no record, nothing like that. So then the biggest question is, why would he do that? Why would make somebody go revenge their kid? And that's a question that's crazy because me obviously being in filmmaking, get you a T-shirt. You always see movies about revenge and avenging. Even karate movies when we was kids, and even a kid wanting to avenge his father. And so you can understand somebody wanting to avenge somebody that was been deaf. But then when you look at the landscape of white America and how they treat people who are black, if they would have killed the son, which they did, we know that the cop would have never been prosecuted. He never would have went to jail. He never, and especially with him claiming that he feared for his life because he heard a clinking sound. The statement is so far as that allegedly that he heard a clinking sound. The clinking sound meaning that it sounded like a metal hitting the ground. So he said that's what made him shoot. Well, to me, if something is metal hitting the ground, that means it's not pointing at you. So how is that a threat towards your life? But this dude killed his son of a father in Ohio, and the father was just basically one of those people that couldn't really take it, And I respect that because the justice is so not there. You know what I'm saying? And then for the guy to take matters into his own hands, he really had to have what white people say sometimes in their courtrooms. He must have had a mental like basically he went crazy. I forgot what they call that shit. Short term insanity or something like that, something close to that. But the whole point is that for a short time he wasn't there. He did something irrational, which is going to cost him his life because he's going to spend probably the rest of his life in jail behind doing that action. And it's crazy. But the legacy of people that's black being killed in America, it go back hundreds of years. It go back longer than a lot of us even been alive. So, none of us was alive when they was doing it. And they had hundreds of reasons, stealing land, murdering because somebody must have whistled at a white woman and all kind of bullshit that they would put out and then kill somebody behind it, or go down to their house, or go down to the jail and grab them out, murder them in front of the people. That practice never really went away. It's just they kind of institute the police and they kind of keep it going, and it's a kill at will. They don't have no kind of as they call it in America, a hate crime bill and all that stuff that's supposed to thwart some of that. Ain't nothing like that even coming down the pipeline. So if those people want to kill you, you're dead. Ain't nobody going to support you or protect you. So they know that. And it's not like, and they also got the talking point of, why do black people kill each other? If it's supposed to be so bad, y'all kill each other. And it's like, okay, big deal. That happened in our culture. Y'all kill each other too, but you don't see black people turn around killing y'all. But it's the way it is in their culture. They get to murder us and do what the hell they want to do. And I think that father has been watching TV and been brainwashed from media over the decades that if something happened to your kid, which is rare and it's random, you don't know who it's going to happen to next, what city or what scenario, you know what I mean? And then boom, it happened again, it happened again, it happened again. but you never see nobody on their side going to jail. That's really the real sick part of it. You never see nobody on the other side going to jail for nothing like that. We try to look up the scenario so y'all can see what happened in case you missed it. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy. It really is, man. And dude going down in history. I mean, he gonna definitely go down in history. He gonna go down in white history and black history because there's a lot of people that's gonna really be shocked about what happened and why he did it. But the cops is just so next level. I mean, next fucking level, man. So, and they killed him for nothing. And then the guy just said, "Hey, man, I was scared," and the boy just supposed to just be dead that fast. All off of this guy saying he was scared. He is a cop with a gun, and that's all he got to do is say, "I was scared." I mean, you talk about fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened. So now that the father got to figure out where he gonna be in prison and how he finna turn his life to never being free again. You know what I'm saying? And then now all the family members got to be scared for it. Man, it's just crazy, man. Let's see if we can see what they talking about on here. Will it play a commercial or is it gonna play the video? Let's see what it
out of Ohio, a man whose teenage son was killed by police is now in turn. Rodney Hinton is in jail in Cincinnati after he allegedly rammed his car.
No sound on this thing. What the hell going on? I know my live ain't killed my sound, so something's going on. Accidentally,
Into this officer identified as Deputy Larry Henderson.
Let's see if I switch the speakers. That's crazy though, but I'm really sad about old boy. The video, yeah, damn, that's crazy. Let's see if it'll play on this one.
33-year veteran of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office was retired, technically picked up a
shift
as a traffic cop for a day. Didn't turn out well. Henderson was not involved in Hinton's son's death. Tom Hansen's been following this tragic story, and we do warn you, as you may imagine, some of the footage here you're going to see is graphic.
It seems like y'all can hear it, but I can't hear it.
This body cam video of officers shooting and killing 18-year-old Ryan Hinton after a police chase. Officials say his father, Rodney Hinton,
he was so well liked and so well known.
You know what I'm saying?
We are so deeply sad.
Sheriff's deputies packed a courtroom Saturday as Rodney Hinton was charged with aggravated murder. They were there in support of the fallen deputy, now identified as Larry Henderson.
I understand there's a lot of sadness and a lot of...
That's him right there in court, too, because he got to go to court.
Before, Cincinnati police say they got a report of a stolen vehicle at this condominium complex. While
he went down to the street up the block from his house, and then he just ran into the dude and killed the dude. And the dude was like some kind of guy who was like doing directing traffic or some shit like that. So, he wasn't expecting that shit to come and smack him upside the head. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? And really, who was the fault for it? I would say that first cop. Because you're a grown man. And you sat there and murdered that dude, that little young dude at 18 years old, taking his life, leaving his family in shambles. And you know that the white supremacy race is not going to do nothing in return to protect him, to respond back. It's like they're going to be okay with that. Like, he going to get like what they call that shit, where you be off duty for a couple of weeks or whatever without pay, or with pay, matter of fact. In America, they give you with pay. Then you get off duty for a little bit with pay, and then you chill, and then the case kind of die down for a minute, and then they slap you in another little area, or they slap you back in your same job. You know what I'm saying? And then you back months down the line, 2 years down the line, and they go away. You know what I'm saying? That family gonna be grieving, and they might even get a check or some shit like that from the city. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like that's the difference maker. So then it go away. But it's just horrible, man. Because imagine having to come to that conclusion. Am I going to go and kill for my kid? Am I going to go and respond to what happened for my child? Or am I just going to let this live? Am I just going to chill on this? and just say, fuck it, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's really a question that only a real nigga, real man can motherfucker make that decision, because you know what's coming down the pipeline. If you jump out the crib and you grab that gun or you grab that car and you want some vigilante, it's gonna come back to smack you real bad. And that's basically what they showed, old boy. You know what I'm saying? He made that move, and he gonna be gone forever. And I don't even know if it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what was that really worth it? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those questions you just don't know. You finna sit up for the rest of your life. Was it worth it? I don't know, man. And it's the funny thing about it too, because I got another video here I want y'all to see. I can't understand why my audio bugged out, but I'm not gonna let that stop the process, because, and this is basically a video about when, you know what I mean, like you see how these guys, they be doing shit, and they be doing shit and setting up scenarios, and they don't get murdered. So particularly, even though the audio might not be playing, you could see that this dude right here, this particular person, he is walking down the street with a fucking gun in his hands, and people are scared. This guy's following him with the camera, but the guy can't grab him, can't get close enough to him. And he got a whole fucking rifle. They was outside doing a video filming
this dude right
like
here.
a movie, and some white boy came down there thinking that they was protesting.
Yeah.
A bunch of black dudes is downtown. So they at City Hall.
Yeah.
He came
And now y'all
walking
see
down
this,
there
right?
with a big ass
Right here
long
brought a
gun
rifle
trying
out.
to
We
kill
filming a
motherfuckers.
movie.
It's like some
He brought
random
a
white
rifle,
dude.
a
This
real
is
rifle.
in Las Vegas
Thinking
City.
that we're protesting.
And dude followed him with the cell phone, like, who is you, man? Like, why is this dude got a gun out and walking in the middle of the street? This is downtown.
We ain't protesting.
It's not the corner, like a little small area. Like, this is downtown.
Ain't nobody being hostile. You're drunk, bro.
And my man walking
With
up
a
as close as he
rifle
can
in
with the
in
gun,
public.
but dude ain't trying to get his
In
face
public.
on camera. So
It
he
don't
just
matter,
getting a
bro.
little bit and
You
he
brought a
getting
gun
hell
out here.
Dodge. But you
You
can
brought
see
a
he
gun out
talking
here.
back
What's
to
your
the
name,
black
bro?
dude, saying some
Say
silly
your
shit. He
name.
ain't really saying nothing, but you
Say
can see
your
that's a
name.
real motherfucking gun in his hand. That's a
Danny
real pistol.
what?
And this is like Las Vegas, somewhere in
Danny
Vegas.
what?
And so you can see the dude ain't scared to have this motherfucking gun in his hand. Stand
Nah,
outside in the
you
middle of the motherfucking
refer to
street.
you as
He don't give a fuck. And ain't nobody in his face. Ain't nobody rushed up on him to take the gun. Ain't no random police riding down the street. He's just a randomized white dude.
No,
You
bro.
saw some black people congregating. They filming like an independent Tubi movie. And he just popped out with a motherfucking big ass gun and got in their damn face. And it was that quick. And you can see he was disperse and go right into his crib, and I try to get to the other part of this video, filmed it, but I'm gonna try to get to the other side of the video where the police is arresting this guy. You can kind of see how many police showed up. There it is right here. So I would click right here. You can see how many police showed up.
Jermaine struggled for years with dental issues before finally finding Nuvia. Listen to what he wanted most after his smile makeover.
You've seen the gun. Now, all
Sierra
of us
and Court Street.
Let's
go ahead now and take a live
look.
Right Reno police told us officers first responded to a report here of an altercation involving a man with a gun. Now, while officials are saying the suspect allegedly fled into his apartment, where he's currently barricaded with a gun. We spoke to witnesses at the scene who shared with us a little bit about what they say they saw and experienced.
See, dude, that's the actual motherfucker who had the gun. Now, you investigating the people who was out there talking to, the news people like, yo, this what happened. But what I'm saying is he's not dead. Now, he had an actual fucking gun in his hand, walking down the street, a long-ass pistol in the middle of the fucking block, and his ass is not dead. He's alive and well, and he made it to the crib. And he threatened about 10 black people that was just outside, just standing around, fucking around. He threatened them like, yo, y'all better get y'all motherfucking ass out here. Y'all out here, what's this? I don't know, some MAGA shit. If y'all out here protesting Donald Trump, I'm going to shoot the shit out y'all. You know he would have got away with it. Now, here he is, a person that's a grown-ass man, 27 years old, walking around with a big, long pistol downtown. And he going to go free, unimpeded. No jail, no back, no problem, no nothing. Meanwhile, the shorty jump out the car of a stolen car, and he running, and he gets shot within 6 seconds. They said the cop pulled up in 6 seconds before he started shooting his gun. The kid didn't even have a chance to say, yo, what's up? So he turned from judge, jury, and prosecution in one time. Meanwhile, that white kid could have 7 cops understanding what he's going through, searching his pockets, talking to him. They ain't got him pinned down to the ground. They ain't got a foot in his back. They ain't got a foot on his neck. He free. When they arrest him, they see themselves. So they not going to hurt somebody that look just like them. They family. So it's like, hey, get your shit together, knucklehead. That's how they looking at him. What you doing? Why you putting yourself through this stupid shit? Go your ass to school and get your shit together. You know what? I'm going to be your mentor. When you get done with this, man, you call this car and talk to me, man. I'm going to talk to you and make sure you get yourself back together, man. That's what happens on the other side. But when it's on our side, it's like, I was scared. Shit, I really didn't know what to do. So I just shot. And so the guy did. The little youngster did over the man, basically saying he feared for his life. And it's really horrible. It's really horrible. It's like, damn. Now what he supposed to do? Just go to heaven. And now the dad finna sit up in prison for the next 30, 40 years. Because when you kill a cop, they're going to give you extra time. They're going to give you extra everything because they feel like that's one of ours. And you saw how in the courtroom, how many goddamn police was in there with him. It's crazy how many police showed up to that dude with them motherfucking police in that room with him. It's like, that's the scary part to me. It's like, damn, you got to be in jail with all these cops and they're going to be having all this vendetta on their mind. And you might be in your cell now. They want to run up in there and get in your face and do something and you're stuck in jail. You can't get out. So it's like he put himself in such a situation and no, I don't know if they're going to have the understanding because they looking at it like you killed one of our cops. So what understanding are we supposed to have? You killed one of ours. Like, you know how they're going to look at it. Now you up in your cell and shit, 3 to 7 of them come rushing up in there trying to hurt you. Ain't nothing you could do. But you could see him sitting in the actual courtroom, 50 cops in there, in that town or where that city, whatever he's from, in Ohio. And it's like, damn. So now what he gonna do? But I mean, he did some noble shit, man. That's your child. And you don't really get you don't get another kid like that, that's your legacy. That kid supposed to carry your name on into the future. That's the whole idea of having a son. He's supposed to carry on your legacy. But it don't look like that worked out. I was trying to play the father in that courtroom. I hope it's showing y'all that real quick.
Death of a Cincinnati sheriff's deputy who was hit and killed Friday by a car in an apparent intentional act. According to police, it turns out the driver of the car is also the father of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed by police Thursday. The incident appears to have been intentional, and the driver has been charged with aggravated murder. This morning, we now know more about the death of a Cincinnati sheriff's deputy who was hit and killed Friday by a car in an apparent intentional act.
Department people that he got to come in contact with. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with that case. He and he got to do that forever now. It's like day one. You know what I mean? It's like the opening week. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm basically out of my job and my new life is inside this police or in this cop at this place. I'm in here now. You know what I'm saying? So he's not even in a point where he even can be free to even know what jail is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't never been in jail before. He been free as hell. You know what I'm saying? So now you've been free as hell to sitting your ass in there and all the shit that go along with jail, which he probably wouldn't even fucking know because he ain't even been there. They said he ain't got no crimes, nothing on his background. He literally is.
Good evening. The deputy hit and killed by a car on Friday. And
so what the hell did he do?
Police say was an intentional act is now identified. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says Larry Henderson was a recently retired deputy with 33 years of experience with the Sheriff's Office. Henderson served in various units from the dive team at SWAT to the FBI task force. Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey announcing today that Henderson's badge number 129 will be retired. Local 12's Chris Arnold is here tonight. And Chris, it's very clear.
They expect me to just walk away like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you could understand somebody being like, I can't do it. I can't just leave. I can't just walk away. He murdered my child. So it's like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happened is going to happen right now because that got to be a split-second decision too. I mean, imagine that. everybody talk about how tough they are and what they'll do and how gangster they is, and every rap song is about somebody who will kill her and somebody who will do something.
The support for Henderson continues to grow.
When I was young, the fuck the police.
That's right, Dwayne. What started as a small memorial for Henderson where he was hit and killed has grown quite a bit over the weekend. I saw a handful of people come by this afternoon to lay flowers down.
When they do what they do about not investigating the crime or hiding the evidence or not putting the fucking videos out or even letting the people out of jail early or even not even prosecuting them at the highest level or saying that they didn't come at the right charges, they let the charges be too soft. All of these soft steps that they was doing over the years after they killed the black man. Now, black men
respect to the fallen deputy.
But I'm talking about in recent years.
Broke my heart. It's a tragedy.
It's a growing memorial.
Just back to back, and there's none of those what they call those things like hate crime bills. It's nobody as black people who we can go turn to. You can't go to the United Nations. You can't go to some African country. You can't go to the president of the new spot up there, Traore. You can't go to him and be like, yo, what you see what they doing to us in America, help us. There's nobody. We just basically walking victims. And then they set the country up where we actually victimize each other.
At the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. and Burnett Woods Drive. Flowers, candles, and even handwritten cards. All showing support for retired Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson.
A group of coworkers.
It's definitely a reflection of today's time, this minute, this second, this scenario. Not necessarily just the world, but I'm talking about this scenario where Tupac determines in the song that he was going to be a soldier. But it's not necessarily this scenario, but it's relevant to it because it's the psychology that you got to have. And that's really what the real definition of what this guy did is his psychology, it's his brain. What made him go into that mindset? Because so many of us have been, pigeonholed into being in fear. And you just
and I got together and collected some money so that we could bring some more flowers and bring some more life to this memorial
like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that man,
make sure that
he threw his life away.
Everyone who's driving by knows that he was well supported.
Ward Heilbronner didn't know Deputy Henderson personally, but says he's a friend and co-worker of Henderson's son.
I just know that his dad had to be a heck of a guy and a wonderful person. Just through what his son is.
He was a rapper. He was working a job and going home. So in his mind, he was a family man. His kid probably wasn't as bad as the media is going to play out. And then that's another thing that they do is they just tear up the kid, the person, their life, and talk so down about them and say that they did this and they did that. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? Or even on the other side, when they do something like that, they'll give money. These people get those GoFundMes and they fill up their money and shit after they do a murder of a black person. It's like a really wicked world in that game, and it's just constantly played over and over and over.
Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey said in a statement on Sunday that Henderson
you might be sitting on your phone scanning, and they constantly playing the murder of somebody over and over. You watching the damn phone like
visions of the sheriff's office that included
they hide
deputy sheriffs. She says his ability to relate to and touch officers' lives was extraordinary. Henderson was hit and killed Friday while serving on a traffic detail for UC's graduation ceremony. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi assured the public
there's a lot that guy had to think about before he did that. So you also had to be a black thinking person. You also got to be thinking like a black man, because otherwise it's not going to have the same feeling of vendetta.
Thorough and accurate investigation would be done.
And I believe there will be in situations like that.
By responding like that, because now, just like when they murder a black kid, and then somebody in Las Vegas might get murdered by a cop, and then the next thing you know, somebody in Nashville getting murdered by a cop, then somebody in Texas getting murdered by a cop, then somebody in Maine getting murdered by a cop. It's constantly walking across the country because they constantly sending messages through each other through the murder. So it's like, oh, it's okay to kill. So that's what happened to old boy in Cleveland.
In order to keep the trust of the people in the neighborhood.
Christ Temple Full Gospel Baptist Church Senior Pastor Peter Domingo says most of his congregants are being patient as the investigation
so everybody getting off.
I think that's what
nobody is being held in justice. Nobody is going down for 10, 20, 30 years. No, everybody got immunity. It's like sad. And then, like in a Hollywood movie that all of us have seen, there's this one character or this one person or this one scene where the person go against the grain. The person don't follow that same practicality that we all knew and understood. The person gets to another state of mind, and now he's shocking the shit out of everybody.
And
where
their
he
own
conclusions, like, no, you killed my daughter.
As for the memorial,
son, I'm killing you. And so we can all sit back and watch that hero in the movie and be like, damn, did you see that? And then, because then when everybody thought he came out the back. You saw that, right? Oh, that fucked me up. When he came out the back, I was surprised. Like, oh my God, he shot that lady, shot the guy. Look at Sinners, the movie Sinners, how the guy had to revenge himself after the end of the movie, if you haven't seen it. And he was shooting at the KKK and all that, doing his thing. It was like a resounding moment. I'm sure some white people in the movie was clapping like, God damn, just the excitement behind the scene. But it's one of those scenarios that we all have to think about, because that also can spread around the country. Now, if you're killing a black guy, it's somebody else taking that chance. It's somebody else taking that jump and taking that movement and saying, hey, I'm black, man. I'm not afraid. You know what I mean? Nat Turner, all the black men from the era, that's who I know about. That's my lineage. I'm not looking up to Jay-Z. I ain't looking up to some football player. I don't give a shit about LeBron James and them. Cool, they somebody. I love Michael Jordan and everybody else, but I look at the people who came before me who had to fight, and they went and did actual fight. It's not on TV, it's not a movie, it's not in museums, but it's actual history of black people who actually fought. And some of this stuff is played on YouTube, TikTok. You can find so much of the information today. It's crazy. When I was a kid, the kids had Marvel, some kind of Marvel magazines or whatever the fuck it was called. We didn't have that shit. We had like Black History magazine with Frederick Douglass on it, and the first person who went to the North Pole and all this shit like that when we was kids. My father was heading us, so we see my homies with them magazines with Batman on them and shit. You wanted that shit bad as hell, but it wasn't nothing. You couldn't go ask your parents for it. They were on some Black Power shit. So I understand that. When you asking them like that, why don't y'all go buy us that? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And they like, there was black inventors. These are people who invented things. And you think back like, you just read, they're the same size. Say, look, this is the very fucking same kind of magazines, but they were black. And this is back in the fucking 80s. So they had things to show you about who you were. You know what I'm saying? And might not, again, been at the museum or been on TV or at school, but it was ways to show you who you were. And you don't know this guy's psychology or mindset. He could have felt like a real black man, like a hero. Like, you did that to my kid, but my life means nothing. I'll definitely sacrifice my life for my child, because why? He's gone forever. He'll never be again. Over this moment, over stealing a car, over jumping in the car, doing something crazy at 18. How many people did that? How many people made a decision to go crazy one time with their boys, with their girls, with their homies? Let me just do this. Okay, fuck it. Let's do it. And you did it. And sometimes it could be something tumultuous happening behind it. Sometimes it could be something that hurt you, or it could be hurting somebody else, but you still was just taking a chance. You was just like, well, fuck it, let's do it. You was 18, you was 17, you was about to be 19. You didn't think about it like that. And you just did a decision. But then an adult person who called himself scared of you. Now, obviously, we know if a person say they heard the clicking sound of something metal hitting the ground. Let me say that again. They heard the clicking sound of something metal hitting the ground. Did you capture that again? So the cop jumped out the car. Immediately he heard the clicking sound of something metal hitting the ground. He started shooting. 6 seconds after he arrived and jumped out his car, he started shooting. So the boy was probably out the car and took about 7 feet, 9 feet. Bah, 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 bah. He killed him. So if you heard something metal hitting the ground, and you could obviously see from the video, it's a grassy area. So how the fuck you hear something metal? But let's just say you did hear something metal. Then obviously it's not pointing at you. If you heard something metal hitting the ground, how can it also be pointing at you? So it can't be a threat to you, because your ear heard it clicking on the ground. So that means it can't click on the ground with the dude smacking the shit on the ground or some shit while he running. Like what happened? How did you hear something metal clicking on the ground, and then that turned into you shooting at the person in that direction where the sound came from? Because that can't add up to murder. Because it's supposed to be, that means the person was coming towards you. But a person is running in that direction, or that direction, that's not towards you, that's away from you. So all of this stuff is not like fucking scientific method understanding. It's really simple. But the idea is, it's easier for me to shoot you and kill you, and you're done. Then I don't have to think about this shit later, because you can't respond back. It's out. You out of here. Now they claiming the boy had a gun. The kid who had got murdered. They saying he had a gun. And he's saying the two other kids that was in the car with him obviously gonna probably have to corroborate that. But it makes sense because if somebody dies during the commission of a crime, then the people who also with him during the commission of the crime will get charged for his murder. So those kids are facing that because in our state, that's what they say. I don't know if that's just what they say in the state, that kid from Ohio, but that is something that they do. If that person died and everybody was committing a crime, then everybody gonna be charged with murder. So maybe they didn't come at them kids like that. Maybe they said, yo, you just make sure you confirm he had a gun and we won't charge you with the murder. You don't know. I'm speculating. I don't know if that happened. Maybe you got this. If I was making a movie, that's what I was saying. What happened? But you can't know. You know what I'm saying? So they only charging them with other crimes, but probably not as if they had did a murder and then that's a crazy felony on your background at such a young age when you really was just still in the car. Now at the end of the day, one of your homies dead and you get charged with his murder. It's like a lot to fucking engulf when all you thought y'all was doing was jumping in a fucking Charger. And then here come the police get on y'all. So somebody said, stop, let's run. And then that's what happened. It wasn't like he was like, stop, let's do the shootout with the police or keep going. We going to leave town. They just going by the spur of the moment because they young. But at the end of the day, when he jumped out the car, somebody got murdered. And that's what prompted the father, which he probably had one night to sleep on this and not knowing what to do. But you know your kid ain't in the bedroom. And then you can understand through the vibe of the night that he ain't never coming back to that bedroom. He ain't never coming home. All his shoes in the front room, the shit he left in the refrigerator, the game you told him to put up when he walked in the front room and you kicked that damn handle with the remote and he never picked it up and now it's still sitting there and you refuse to touch it because you like, that's the last thing he touched before he ran out the house. And it's like crazy in your mind. How the fuck do you go to the crib? Can you go back to the house and sleep at night knowing that your kid died and there was nothing you could do about it? You weren't even there. You weren't even there to see him. And you know if somebody died, they don't even let you see the body no more until it's read at the morgue and all that shit. So it's like you can't even see him in his last moments. Like it's so much to engulf in your thoughts. You know, your legacy is gone. Nobody carrying your name no more. Maybe you ain't in the going to try to find a new lady and trying to find a new chick to go get you another baby. Maybe you ain't got time to raise another child from 0 to 18 and because you lost your last child. You know, it's a lot to engulf. And then your mind also telling you they not going to lock this cop up. They not finna investigate this. They finna hide this. They finna say the video camera don't come out for another year. They finna say we hiring all these people to do investigations and nobody gonna investigate shit. You all this shit swirling through your mind and you thinking to yourself, my son's birthday is coming up, or it just passed. Well, I gotta talk to him. Well, you get up in the middle of the night to go to his room and you forget he dead. It just happened that day. So you're not even imagining that it's real. And then you looking in his room, he ain't there. So you get up and you jump in your car the next day and you like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know where to go. And then there go a cop riding down the street, walking, standing on the street. And your mind is like, maybe he went around the block twice. Maybe he went around the block 5 times. Maybe he just parked on the side and just got to looking at this cop, just living his life, minding his business, don't even know him. And just minding, living. And he just thinking to himself, I'm gonna do it. And I don't give a fuck what happened behind it. Because sometimes when people do that kind of shit, they're expecting to commit suicide. And it's almost like that is suicide by cop because they could kill him. You know, in the history of them capturing or arresting a black guy, they take him and castrate him. They take him down to City Hall or the city square and they hang him. And then they castrate him. You know, they take his limbs off and fucking sell him and pass him around to the people in the city. It's a wicked, 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 wicked world because I don't think he killed a black person. It ain't no message out there saying he killed a black guy. So you got to think by default, he probably killed a white guy. So it's a lot of that thing too, because had they let him go home, had they let him stay free and not go to jail, them people would have probably came to his crib and set it on fire. Like, what? You killed a white man and it's in flames overnight. You never know. So the world in America, they'd be like, get him, put him in the jail cell, and hold him in there. But by holding him in there, now you're in a situation where they come down to the jail cell, kick the fucking door in, and come grab you, pull you out that motherfucker, and do the 1-2 step with the damn hanging and the castration. That's the history of America. So this is a heavy, heavy thought for somebody to do something at that level, knowing that that's what the fuck they do in America. They will come and castrate your ass, chop your shit off, and kill you, especially with some of the pains that you did. And you don't know what the fuck his future gonna be in jail, what jail cell they're gonna put him in. You know, some of these, a majority of these prisons is out in some rural white area, and it's like it's a fucking 5-hour drive from a city. You know what I'm saying? 4-hour drive. Some of those places to go out there to visit somebody who got murdered. I mean, who got in prison. So it's just really a deep ass question, and I wonder why would somebody put themselves through something like that? But you do know the weight of what he's handling, and that's something that a lot of us probably, and God bless, will never have to really experience. The cops killing your family, and then what do you do? And then it kind of begs the question. So if his kid was in a gang and the gang dudes kill him, is the father, was he's going to go back and kill him? This is almost like a Hollywood movie playing out. You know, was he going to go back and kill one by one until he got to the top dude and was like, yo, you Big Tony, you killed my son. He'd be like, I don't know your fucking son. Well, yo, it don't matter. You did it. And I got the down, I'm killing you. And it's like, what the hell going on? And so this is how it play off in the movies. You watch a film and you be telling people like, damn, did you see that movie? Man, when he called a boy, got this motherfucker, this nigga sitting at the dinner table with this lady, he walked right in up on him, and he didn't even remember, he had nothing. Everybody thought he knew nothing about it. Man, it's crazy. You got to watch it. You got to watch this. And then you might even care about the main character and be like, I'm going to watch his next movie because he did a good job on that. But this is a real life situation. The guy ain't never coming home. He never going to see. So the family lost 2 people. They grieving the death of the child, and then they grieving the death of the dad of the child in the same 24-hour span. Because now the father threw himself away, and then you got to see, when did we go to court to help him? What if we go into court to be supportive of the guy who killed the cops, and now the cops mean mugging us and following us around the city and looking at us like we did something too? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we support him? You know, do we talk to the media for him? Like, what do we do? Do we just pull back and say we ain't got nothing to do with him? We don't agree with what the hell he did. Like, it's a lot to it. Like Mo G was saying, that it's your family really your family takes the responsibility for the things you do. When you really don't believe that, you might be thinking you're doing this shit on your own, but your family take the responsibility of it. And this is a perfect example of that, because the kid running with his homies at 18 years old, they innocent teenagers. They can't think there's some shit gonna be in a national fucking afternoon. Like, what the fuck you mean? What I'm about to do is about to be international. Like, that's crazy. Like about 3 weeks ago, actually, was it 4 weeks ago now? It's literally 4 weeks ago now. Tomorrow, I had got into a car accident by a teenager, 16 years old. He crashed into my vehicle and fucked me up real bad. Like, I broke my sternum. I still got the little pad on this shit. It's really bad. Like, I had a crash. Some kid just ran a stop sign and just boom, wiped my car out. Like, my car is total. I was in the hospital and it was fucking me up. And I didn't expect it. I'm thinking it was a normal afternoon. But I couldn't imagine a kid going that fast and running the stop sign and smacking my car. God bless me to still be alive, because I'm telling you, I was so scared. Anyway, finding out the kid was 16 years old in a rental car. He was in his mother's rental car with a 14-year-old passenger. And so it was scary. I was just like, what the hell? So I'm saying that to note that the kids make mistakes in some instances. You know what I'm saying? It's something you can't know if it's a right mistake or a bad mistake, but it happens. But I still, my body is outrageously fucked up behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a young cat. And that's just what you have to go through sometimes. And I horribly hate that it happened. Horribly hate that it happened. Because it just turn you upside down. But it can happen. Life is life. And so for old boy to have to go revenge his kid, it's really scary and sad. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish him the best. I wish everybody the best. That family of the cop who passed on, I wish him the best too, because the guy had no idea You at work, you don't even know, probably wasn't even aware of what happened with what happened on TV with the guy and his kid. Or even if you did, it's nothing you could do about it. It wasn't you. And then boom, now he's gone. So they're not gonna forgive that black guy for that. They're not gonna forgive him. They're not gonna forgive him. They're never. He's gonna probably spend the rest of his life in jail for that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he thought about it to that extent. I can't say if he dug his brain that deep into the understanding of it, but I think he probably knew that it was going to be the last time he was free. I think he at least knew that. Like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to be free, but it's worth it. My kid gone, and he gone forever, so I don't care. I'm going to do what I got to do. And it's just sad, man, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Hit me up. Are you this brolic? Do you have this in your brain? If something happened to somebody in your family, in your guts, can you do that? Can you revenge your child? Can you revenge your family member? I'm talking about for real. Like this is a real situation. Like, dude, it's all over the news. They're not promoting it and broadcasting it as a lot of stories would be if it was the opposite way. If it was a white person doing it, or if he had killed a white guy, they wouldn't put it out so much because again, this shit could be habit forming. It could be people who hearing this in a whole nother world of the city or the whole nother world of the country and hearing that and being like, that's something that if anything happened, you know what I mean? Because you just don't know the climate in every city, in every neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people who got that same psychology. Just like a cop killing a black dude. That cop only shot that black dude because he's seen it happen 100 times before and everybody get off. If you take 6 seconds, just imagine how far can you run in 6 seconds? How far can you get away? If you're running at full speed, but let's just say you jumping out of a car and then you run at full speed. How far can you get in 6 seconds? Let's just go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000. So if he's 18, let's just guess he can half a block. In 6 seconds, he can probably run a half a block in 6 seconds. That's still in eye view. And that's still, you can see him. And if he's running, that means he's running away from you. So that means he ain't running towards you. In 6 seconds, he could probably run up at you. I get that. But if he's running away because you're police, is naturally thinking, cop, robber, I'm going to run away from the cops. Why would he have to die? But again, knowing that it's not going to be repercussions, knowing that you're not going to go to jail, knowing that you could transfer to a different precinct at another city, knowing that you got immunity, these are things that leverage you out and say it's okay. If I got to do it, especially they got the tears, they get to cry, they get to say I was under stress in my personal life. It's a lot of elements that he get to come right in there and say, this is what I was dealing with, and their dead kid is gone. And the parents got to sit right in that courtroom quiet, like, did this nigga just say he hadn't been on a date in 3 months? Like, what the fuck he just said? And this is real. He get to say that because that's his personal life. We don't know him. And then it's supposed to be so big to him. Like, I hadn't been on a date. And I was just like, no one would talk to me. And he's saying, like, you shot my fucking kid. You just don't know. It's up in the air. But they're not even going to bring them to court like that and sit them in front of the camera and say, what happened? They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you see. You can't jump online and see 15 cases like that right now. You can't jump online and find 45 cases of cops who shot black people who had to go to court, who showed up, court date. You're not going to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's rare, if at all. You know what I'm saying? They do prosecute some, but it's not like rapid. And it's not like justice proof, like, okay, this happened. Well, I know they're going to investigate that. I know they're going to. It's just you get those lawyers popping out. The black lawyers that with the names, whoever they are, and they pop out on the news at the podium and they claim that they're gonna get the justice for the person, and then the pop up is another kid who gets shot, and that guy got to fly to this city, and he's like, oh my God, we're gonna get justice for this person. Bam, he fly to another town, and I forget the lawyer names, but they pop on the podium again in another city, and I'm thinking like this lawyer probably got the best hotel fucking setup ever because he got to try to fly to every town. They kill black people so religiously in America that he just traveled. And you heard about those twins who got found in some mountain up in North Carolina. They from somewhere like Atlanta or some shit like that, and they get found dead up there. It's like this is a normal practice in a country called America. And the sad part about it is you just hoping it never happened to somebody that you know or yourself or your family, that we just really are victims or really are being held captive or really are being like plucked out at bay that anybody could choose to. Just like the little 27-year-old white boy I showed you who pop out downtown seeing black people standing in a group and be like, y'all better not be protesting. I'll shoot the shit out y'all. And then he don't get murdered. He don't get shot down. It's been longer than 6 seconds and they still searching his pockets and shit. Every time a cop park up, they search him again. It's like, don't nobody want to shoot this motherfucker? No, they see themselves. So that black man who killed a guy for his kid, he wasn't offbeat. He just was out of pocket for the way the world works. You know what I'm saying? In the olden days, that they called it, in a movie sphere or in your mind, even you will say, "I'm gonna do the same damn thing," and then just God bless that never happened to you. You never find yourself in this kind of scenario. You never got to put yourself in a line and say, "You know what? I'm doing this. They ain't gonna take mine," and then you got to make a decision like that. Let it be in the movie. Let it be in a book you wrote or a podcast you talking about. Nothing real, because again, we saw the camera of him in the news. We see him in court. We ain't gonna see him in a jail cell. We're not gonna see him when they ship him out 4 hours out. We're not gonna see him when they whoop the hell out of him in one of them damn jails and put hands on him and swell his face up. We're not gonna see if they feed him bogus food and give him some kind of poisonous disease over time. You're not gonna see nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna see the front of it, the news, and that's it. And then it go away. There could be something else on the news tonight, tomorrow, and it's over with. And whatever happened to that guy will just probably be a thought in the past. And I think that somehow, some way, he wanted to be more than just a forgotten case. And that right there is something he definitely did. He definitely made this one of those ones that's gonna stick in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so outrageous. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna probably play his court case out on TV because they're gonna have to leave a message to the world that you cannot vendetta. You can't do that. You can't premeditate it. You can't vendetta. You can't come back later and try to hurt somebody after the fact. You can't even do that. We ain't going for that in America. You know what I'm saying? And that's that right. You know, it's America. We under they guys. So, you know, if he had probably fought the, you know, remember that boy did a movie like this. What's his name? Parker. He did a movie like this. And it was about a guy whose son got killed in the movie. And in the movie, he took over the police precinct until they showed the cop who actually did the murder. And when the cop who did the murder showed up, he started pleading for his life, and he was afraid and scared. And then they had all this you know, black and white banter in the movie talking about the case. And oh boy, Parker, I forgot his first name, but he was actually married to a white lady in his personal life. And in his college days, he was dating a white girl, or he knew a white girl, allegedly. And then when they had an issue saying he raped her or sexually abused her or some shit like that, this when he was in college. I think his name Rob Parker. I can't remember his first name. So making a long story short, when he was in college, the girl said he raped her or molested her. He was found not guilty, or he was found unfounded. He was found as if he didn't do the shit. She committed suicide. And this person left a bad stain on his name. So when he got in Hollywood and started making movies, a lot of his movies kind of still got a little race play in it. But ultimately, he is married to a white woman today. You know, so that's people ultimately like women like that. And he made a movie about one of his kid getting killed by a white cop. And it was an innocent moment. You probably seen the movie, but it was like one of those really strong movies that made him and his homies get the guns, and they all running down there like, fuck that, we finna kill this motherfucker. That's the first time I had seen something play out like that, because normally you don't see that. You know what I'm saying? But it's Nate Parker. That's his name. So you don't see that. You don't see guys, black people vendetta. You definitely don't see white people paying for the movie. They're not going to give $5 million to go shoot a movie about revenging somebody who did, and then you come to shoot at white people. That's not how it works. So But in this particular movie, he did. And so you had to watch the movie. So as he in the precinct and he holding them hostage and he making them confess and he going crazy about it. He crying over his kid. He got the gun in the motherfucker's heads. He got his homies in there too. They got guns. They holding the cops down and they making sure that they get their message across. And so at the end of the movie, when he leaves out, they give it up and they about to walk out the precinct. They walking out of the door. He's the last person to leave out. His goes up with his hands and he walking out the door and boom, they shoot him right in the head and he go down dead. And everybody starts screaming and going crazy. And I'm gonna tell you why I like that. I like that because it keeps the theme of what goes on in America. So Nate Parker is not gonna change that thing where the black dude get away. He hold them all hostage and then he get away. In a white movie, he would have got away. It was a movie that I was watching called Rampage. And in this movie, a white boy, he would go to the police precinct and shoot the whole motherfucking place up. He got guns, he holding motherfuckers hostage in the basement, he killing people, boom, 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 boom. And then he do the whole movie where he just whacking the shit out of everybody. Big ass guns, he just going crazy, killing homeless motherfuckers. He just don't give a fuck in this movie. It's called Rampage. And at the end, he slipped down through like a fucking tunnel or a sewer. And then he comes out inside like the woods and shit. And when he pop out in the woods, he throws some other clothes on and he walk away normal. He don't go to jail. He don't get caught. He don't get his homie. He might kill his friend or somebody else that know he did it. He'll kill that person last or whatever. And so he walk away free. And then it'll be Rampage 2. It'll be Rampage 3. You can look these movies up. So that's how white people do it. So if I'm going to be going up against the grain, if I'm going to be going up against the government, if I'm going to be going up against something, I'm going to still walk free because I am doing this for the nobility of what I'm doing it for. So then when you flip it to a black movie, for instance, the Nate Parker story, when it's time for his nobility to be checked by the powers that be, it's nothing to talk about. The fact that you rose up against us, you're going to meet your maker. And he directed that movie and wrote it and made that movie himself. It was a black movie. A black guy created that, but he stayed within the theme. So everybody leaves the movie comfortable. Like, oh, okay, cool. He went to jail. Could you imagine the motherfucker taking over the police station and shit because his son got killed? That'd be crazy. It's just not gonna nobody believes nobody's gonna do that. So when you see somebody who literally take it into his own hands and say, you killed my kid, I'm killing somebody of yours. It's not real. It's like, this can't be real. And it's not going to be real on the side of America because it's so rare that somebody believes that people, we lose our child and we okay with it. We lose our kid to the government and it's okay. They might give you a check. They might pay you some money once a year or whatever for it. But it's sad and it hurts. So to see somebody revenge like that is just really one of those things, man. So again, hit me up. Let me know what y'all think. I'm going to get back at y'all with a new story, new conversation, new information. And I appreciate y'all watching. Like and subscribe for y'all. Peace out.